Imagine standing in a trench. The ground shakes beneath your feet. The sky disappears behind smoke. Thousands of artillery shells crash around you every single day. Days become weeks, weeks become months, yet the battle never seems to end. Welcome to Verdun, a battlefield that became a symbol of courage, sacrifice, and endurance, unlike anything the world had ever seen. By early 1916, World War I had become a brutal stalemate. Across the Western Front, thousands of soldiers remained trapped in trenches stretching from the North Sea to Switzerland. Both sides searched desperately for a way to break the deadlock. Near the Meuse River stood the historic city of Verdun. Surrounded by powerful forts, it had defended France for generations. To military planners, it appeared to be the perfect place to launch a decisive attack. The German chief of the General Staff, Erich von Falkenhayn, believed victory would not come from capturing land alone. Instead, he hoped to force France into defending Verdun until its army was exhausted by continuous fighting. His strategy was simple but ruthless. If France considered Verdun too important to lose, it would keep sending soldiers into the battle, suffering enormous losses in the process. At 7:15 a.m. on the 21st of February 1916, the silence ended. Without warning, thousands of German guns opened fire. The earth trembled as one of the most devastating artillery bombardments the world had ever seen crashed onto the French defenses. For nearly 10 hours, shell after shell rained down across the hills, forests, and trenches surrounding Verdun. Entire sections of the battlefield disappeared beneath smoke, fire, and shattered earth. When the bombardment finally lifted, German infantry emerged from the smoke. Advancing carefully through the ruined landscape, they crossed a battlefield where forests had been reduced to broken stumps and shell craters stretched as far as the eye could see. The Battle of Verdun had begun. Within days, German forces reached one of Verdun's most important defensive positions, Fort Douaumont. Built to protect the city, it was the largest and strongest fort in the region. Many believed it could never be captured. Yet, on the 25th of February, 1916, a small group of German soldiers entered the fort through an unguarded section and took control with surprisingly little resistance. The news shocked France. The fall of Fort Douaumont was more than a military setback. It threatened French morale across the nation. If Verdun itself fell, many feared the road deeper into France might be opened. The pressure on the French army became immense. As German forces pushed closer to Verdun, the French High Command knew immediate action was needed. They appointed General Philippe Pétain to take command of the defense. Unlike many commanders, Pétain understood that victory would not come from reckless attacks. His first priority was simple: keep the army alive. He organized supplies, rotated exhausted troops, and strengthened every position around Verdun. His calm leadership restored confidence when France needed it most. But leadership alone wasn't enough. Thousands of soldiers needed food, ammunition, medical supplies, and reinforcements. There was only one major road connecting Verdun to the rest of France. If that road failed, the battle could be lost. Day and night, without stopping, thousands of trucks traveled this narrow road. Drivers ignored artillery fire, broken vehicles, and terrible weather. Every minute mattered. This lifeline became known as the Voie Sacrée, the sacred way. Without it, Verdun might never have survived. The system worked. Fresh soldiers continuously replaced exhausted units. Food reached the front. Artillery shells kept arriving. Even under constant German pressure, France refused to let Verdun stand alone. The battle soon became a relentless struggle of endurance. Every hill, every trench, every ruined village was fought over again and again. Neither side was willing to retreat. The battlefield itself disappeared beneath millions of shell craters. Verdun was no longer recognizable. It had become a landscape of mud, smoke, and destruction. French soldiers found strength in a simple promise. Ils ne passeront pas. They shall not pass. The words spread through the ranks, not as an official battle plan, but as a powerful symbol of determination. For the defenders of Verdun, surrender was never an option. As summer turned into autumn, the battle showed no signs of ending. Month after month, artillery thundered across the hills of Verdun. Both armies were exhausted. Thousands had already fallen. Yet, the fighting continued. What had begun as a carefully planned offensive had become a battle neither side could easily escape. By October 1916, the French army launched determined counterattacks. After months under German control, Fort Douaumont was recaptured. One of the battle's greatest setbacks had finally been reversed. For France, it was more than a military success. It was proof that Verdun could still be defended. On the 18th of December 1916, after 302 days of relentless fighting, the Battle of Verdun finally came to an end. The front line had changed very little, but the cost was almost impossible to comprehend. Historians estimate that around 700,000 soldiers became casualties, killed, wounded, or missing. Entire villages disappeared. Forests became wastelands. A generation carried the scars of Verdun for the rest of their lives. Verdun was never remembered simply because of who gained or lost ground. It became a symbol of endurance, a place where ordinary soldiers endured extraordinary suffering. More than a century later, the hills around Verdun still bear the marks of one of history's longest and bloodiest battles. Verdun proved that courage alone could not end the war. While the guns finally fell silent here, another great battle was already beginning. Farther north, along the river Somme, there, millions of soldiers would soon face another chapter of unimaginable destruction. If you enjoyed this documentary, subscribe to Past Portrayed for more historically accurate stories from World War IX and beyond. Next episode, the Battle of the Somme.